everyone, Kara Corey here. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, then thank you for joining us here. I do a lot of talks on fitness, nutrition, because I'm a registered dietitian, and also a WNBF Bikini Pro. So be sure to subscribe and stick around. Hit that post notification bell for each and every time I upload. That's going to notify you when I do upload. So for today's video, we're going to dive right into it. I want to talk about some new rules that came out for the OCB, which is a natural organization for bodybuilding. And I think most of you who've been here will know that I competed in OCB. It was one of the first divisions I competed in, or organizations I should say, back in 2011. So I have a lot of experience with OCB. I actually just judged an OCB show yesterday, and some new guidelines came out this week, new rules in particular for my OCB pros, but also important to know for anyone who's looking to compete in this organization. You want to know what the rules are if, you know, most of us plan on wanting to go pro, so it's important to know how the rules may impact you if you do turn pro. So I'm going to read for you just an excerpt of it. Matt Shepley kind of heads the OCB, that's my understanding, and I did kind of notice the post on Facebook, and I wanted to share it with you guys. But again, not going to read everything, but I believe it is on the OCB page or Instagram if you want to read the full spiel. But essentially, starting January 1st, 2020, OCB will expect its pros to not participate in any contest staged by organizations that don't drug test at all of their events. Doing so contradicts efforts for a drug-free sport. After January 1st, if any OCB pros violate this requirement, they will be deemed ineligible for OCB's pro level of competition for a period of 3 years. And then he finalizes this with saying, remember competitors, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So I just wanted to kind of take that in a bit. I'm not an OCB pro, I'm a WNBF pro, but I have competed in OCB shows at an amateur level and actually had toyed with doing OCB at a pro level, because previously when I reached out to Matt as a WNBF pro, he said I was eligible to compete in OCB, which WNBF is a drug-tested organization. So I don't know if they still allow that or not, but OCB was on the table for me to compete in. I do have opinions on this, even though I'm not an OCB pro. I don't necessarily agree with it, nor do I like it. And you guys don't have to agree with me. I'm giving you my opinions and feelings on how I think about this. And you guys can give me your feedback below for what you think. But in terms of taking any non-drug tested organizations off the table, I have a few different issues with it. The first thing that comes to mind for me is when I think about competing again, I think about weeks upon weeks of dieting and training and the amount of time it just takes to get ready for a show. And one thing I don't like about I love representing natural bodybuilding. That's why I didn't do NPC anymore. Actually, Mark Lobliner is the one that said, what are you doing? Go to natural where it's a level playing field. And so I did, and I love representing natural bodybuilding, and I will always be a natural athlete. Nothing will ever change that. I will never be someone who's not a natural athlete, but what I don't like is when you prep for so long, 20 weeks, 16 weeks, sometimes people do half a year, and there's not enough shows being offered with our natural organizations. There's just not. They're not as big as the NPC, so there's just not as many shows that are available. And for me, that sucks, because if I'm only competing every 2 years, I like to have a few shows back to back. I actually encourage my clients to do this as well, because sometimes you just want to get out there and do a warm-up show, if you will. You're not looking to place, you're just looking to get your feet wet. And there's not always the opportunity to do that with an OCB show. The shows are limited with how much they're offering them and locations of them, whereas I feel like NPC shows, once the season hits, there's like show weekend after weekend after weekend, multiple shows on the same weekend. You have more options. And what I'm saying with that is I am someone that would hop into an NPC show, not because I don't support being a drug-free athlete or wanting to be drug tested because I worked my freaking ass off and I want to get on the stage and warm up a bit. Well, I just want to get out there and see how I'll do, maybe before I go to my WNBF pro show. Why is that a problem? You know, WNBF I don't believe has the same thing going on right now, so I am still able to do that, but what this is going to do is taking competing at OCB off the table for me, and I think that's really unfortunate, and it's something I'm really going to have to think about whether I support that idea. I think that's kind of being part of the problem. One of the things I like about natural organizations is I feel like we stand out for a more family-oriented, like fun experience, judge-free zone, and it just feels like, I don't know, it feels judgy. And I don't know how to say this without like, I know I'm gonna get the comments about, well, you're promoting people doing drugs. I'm not. I do like NPC as well, you guys. I've competed in several NPC shows. I've done really well in most of them, quite honestly, as a natural athlete, and that feels really cool too. And I've known a lot of people that have gotten as far as they can go in natural organizations such as OCB, and it kind of lends itself to the next step to take it to an NPC level, to take it to that level and stay a drug-free athlete and see how competitive you can be. And I have seen bikini competitors in particular that have done that. They've won title after title with the overalls at pro divisions, and they go to NPC and then they do very well at NPC. So I guess my bottom line is it sucks to have them come out and say this is who you can and can't compete with. And quite honestly, I guess I'm curious too. You only actually get drug tested if you actually win your show. So I'm confused how that works. I didn't get drug tested at my WNBF pro show. I was top 5. They polygraphed me, but that's not a drug test. So I'm confused, like, what does that criteria look like? You know, most of these organizations aren't requiring drug tests on everyone that enters their show because the sport doesn't make enough money to pay to do that. They can't drug test all their athletes. That's why you hear time and time again at these shows that people win the shows and it turns out they unfortunately weren't natural. But so I'm just kind of curious what that criteria looks like for it being a drug-tested show. Would me competing at WNBF count if I'm only being polygraphed? Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't really know how that works. I'm not as upset about it as some of the OCB pros that I know who this has impacted. I know a lot of OCB pros who are friends of mine, former clients, that compete in all different organizations because they work their balls off, they work their tits off, quite literally, and want to do as many shows as they can to get experience. And it just seems like OCB's kind of butthurt that like we're wanting to go out there and just have fun in the sport. Like, I don't know, it just feels like it takes the fun away from it. Like, well, you have to choose. And I just don't see why you can't promote natural bodybuilding but still go out and do NPC shows. Yes, of course, if I did an NPC show and then went to nationals and wanted to become an IFBB pro, yeah, you have to give up one. I understand that. At some point you have to say, this is the organization I'm going to continue with. I do understand that IFBB, when you are a pro, you can't just go compete at WNBF or OCB. I believe it is the case for them as well. So why can't OCB just do the same? They can do whatever the hell they want to do. But what I do think they're going to make a lot of their athletes upset because most of us do like to go to NPC shows, and I don't understand the point of it. I don't think you're going to see some solution arise. I don't think by putting these parameters in place, you're going to see people not go to NPC shows and compete in them. I think you're going to see attendance of OCB shows and participants go down. I think the opposite of whatever he's trying to do here is going to occur. Like, I don't see how this is going to benefit the OCB. So even if he feels passionately that you're not promoting natural bodybuilding by going to an NPC show, I just don't understand how this helps OCB. If someone has a better understanding of how this is going to help the organization, let me know. But as it is right now, I even encourage some of my clients to go to OCB from NPC And sometimes they just don't want to for that exact reason. There's not enough shows. There's not enough attention at these shows where it feels, I don't know, like, I get it because I've been there too. It's just, it's not as big of an organization. They're not. It's never going to be as big as MPC and the IFBB. It's not going to. And say I'm being part of the problem by saying that, I think I'm just being a realist here. But quite frankly, I think it all really sucks. I don't know what we're gaining from it, and no one likes being told what you can and can't do. Usually when you're told you can't do something, you're gonna say fuck you and go do it anyways, right? So I'm just kind of interested how this is gonna go. As I mentioned before, for me, if I was going to return to the stage, I had always thought I was going to do an MPC show as a warm-up. Yes, the posing is maybe slightly different. The criteria they look at is different. No, it wouldn't be a level playing field. At the amateur bikini level, it's hard to say, but I don't care. Like, I would have wanted to do that just to see how I would do. And as I said, get a warm up in there and then potentially do an OCB Pro or WNBF Pro show. That now being off the table just doesn't make me feel great about the OCB and these rules and regulations. So I did judge the OCB show yesterday. This doesn't mean I don't support OCB shows, in particular Mike Halsey, the shows he runs in Syracuse. That was 19 years of him promoting this natural show in the area. He's a great person. He runs a great show. I will 100% always recommend people to do his shows in particular because of who he is and his wife is Talisha as a person and the way they go about treating their athletes. Like, I guess that's more of what it is to me. It's a feeling you get of how you're being treated, right? Like, we all want to feel good. We want to feel like it should be a good, positive experience. And the second you have someone kind of doing this at you, makes it feel like, ooh, like, that's not a group I want to be part of. At least that's how I feel about it. Yesterday at the show, a few of us judges spoke about it and, like, had differing opinions. Some of us cared, others were like, who cares? Some people agreed with me, like, don't tell me what to do and not to do. So everyone kind of has a different opinion on it, but I just wanted to share mine with you guys. I think it's unfortunate that if I was to do MPC, that this takes an OCB show off the table, especially since there's an OCB Pro show in Syracuse now. So that's something I really have to think about, and I think that's really unfortunate. I do want to say you guys can also check out Mark Lobliner. He did a video on this exact topic. He has some different thoughts and feelings than I do and different information to share on it, so you guys might want to check out his video as well. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I think it sucks. I think it's shitty, and I do know some people are trying to boycott it. They're trying to get it overturned because it's kind of ridiculous. But I'm interested to know your thoughts for those of you that do follow me because of natural bodybuilding, or maybe you're an MPC, whatever you do, maybe you're natty, maybe you're not. I don't care. I'm not here to judge, quite honestly. I just want to, if I'm going to compete, I want to be able to compete. So let me know your thoughts and feelings on the topic below. If you guys agree with me, if you have a different perspective, share it below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Share it with others who maybe are not aware of these new rules. Share it with your clients who are competing in OCB. As someone who coaches athletes in the competitor world, we need to stay on top of what the rules are for these organizations. So that way we can be smart about how we're coaching our clients and keep them well informed. It is our part to do our due diligence. So if you're a coach, share it with other coaches, share it with your clients, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.